Yo, you not in our lane, so quit acting like we rockin' the same. What's funny comedy podcast? Are you not entertained? It's time to man up. My live people, put your hands up. From improvisations to stand up, we band up. These haters overheated. We going undefeated. Sit downs and live interviews is what the culture needed. A new monopoly for black comedy. We give it to you haters, straight no chaser, and no apologies, baby. The real and knowledge bet got it set, live and direct, like rapid gunfire from a tech. Wow. Plow, move from the gate now. All these other pods gotta skate now. What's funny to you? Me? What's funny to you? What's funny to me?
I think we all can agree that life has genuinely funny moments. The irony of it all, somebody had the nerve or even the unmitigated gall. Great comics can take the average and ordinary of life and turn it into a hilarious and memorable joke. Welcome, everybody, to the What's Funny Today show. I'm your host, Mila Marshall, and here we get into all things urban comedy on stage and online. Before I introduce the cast and our guest, I want to start off by saying thank you so much for supporting us online on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Make sure you keep those likes, shares, and follows up. Comment and let us know what you want us to talk about or even the guests you want to see on season 2. And without further ado, first up, we have the man with the vision. He's the reason why we're all here, the creator of the What's Funny Comedy Festival with Lil Rel, Knowledge Beckham.
What up, Mila? How you doing?
What's going on? Next up, we have the most underrated comic out of Chicago. He's an urban laugh legend, Mr. Steal Your Girl, but never your jokes, comedian Sean Morgan.
That's all right there.
You know what? Boom. Gold star. Gold star. You nailed it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been working. I've been practicing. All right. And last but certainly not least, we have an Emmy Award-winning actor on set with us today. He is amazing at stand-up. He has best known for Just Swipe, Punked, the headliner, and I'm super excited to have comedian Ron G on set.
Hey,
Ron.
Hey, what up?
There you go.
How you doing?
What's going on?
That was great.
Thank you.
That was great.
This is how support looks.
Very
Yeah.
poised.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Channel 5 News. Coming up first. Back to you, Timothy. All right, cool.
We appreciate you coming. So, Ron G, I want to know, how'd you get your start in comedy?
Man, simple. I call it the quarter life crisis, where you go to school for something, but you don't know what it is. And I used to be an accountant. Went to the University of South Carolina, moved to Atlanta the day after I graduated, and I got fired from my first job. And my cousin was a comic. Shout out to Trey Black. He was performing at a place called Uptown Comedy Club, which was back in the days. It was a room full of dope dealers and strippers. It was Apollo night. And I went on stage. Actually, he was like, "Man, you funny. You should go on stage." And I was like, I already lost my job. Confidence was low. I was like, let me go try it. And I got on stage, man, and my first 20 seconds, they booed me. Boo was okay. And then as I kept talking, they told me to kill myself. And I ain't never had nobody tell you to kill yourself. I'm like, do you run? Because it was the door right there. And as I was talking, there was a whole back row of people. They did what I called a grenade boot. And everybody in the back was like, boo, nigga. I'm not even lying. And they turned the song on. What's that? I did my best, but I guess it wasn't good. And I'm sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And then I got off stage, went to go sit by the little DJ booth. My cousin was sitting right there, and he was like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. And I fell in love. And then the host came up. He was like, man, y'all show some love for Ron G. They was like, boo. He's like, man, y'all boo his name? Ron. Boo, G, boo, Ron G, boo. And all this stuff happened. And I fell in love. And I walked to the car, and this dude, OG, he looked at me, he said, hey, little nigga, you ain't gonna never be funny. And I was like, F you. He's like, F you, get you killed. And I walked to the car, and I was like, you know what? I like this. I'm gonna figure it out. And I just stayed with it and figured it out. And within like 8 months, I got my first standing ovation, and I was like, this is it.
Damn.
Wow.
That bug bites you or something.
You know it, that first time. Even when I got booed, I'm like, something happens. That light came on. I was like, I like this.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I'm coming back.
What made you go up though? Like I would never, like, I don't have a desire to really perform in front of people. Anything.
Yeah.
Like, what made you do that? Usually it's, class clown in high school. You try it out.
Yeah.
You went to college the whole 9, got the gig. What made you jump in and even hit the stage?
That's why I said a quarter life crisis. I said I was good at a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't great at nothing. And something was still desired in my heart, because I'm like, you do all the things right, and you get to a place where the things you did right don't work anymore. What do you do? It's like saving yourself for marriage, and then you get divorced.
Yeah.
Where do you start? Where do you go after that? You know what I'm saying? But going to a job every day, and I'm watching people do the exact same thing every single day, and I'm like, this is what I went to school for, to do this thing, and people just look miserable. And you stay an extra 5 hours at work, and they give you a hamburger, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. But I think God was setting me up because I think there's a part of, as human nature, we're comfortable with being comfortable, and we're addicted to the check. So when you're addicted to getting the check on Friday, it's hard to pursue your dreams because you like, oh, I can make this, not getting on stage. You know what I'm saying? But they don't tell you on the other side is there's no ceiling. If you actually make it through and you do this thing long enough, like watching, what was it, Def Jam anniversary? And somebody, I think Bob Sumner was like, we got a room full of millionaires. It did something too. It's like watching Rocky. And I'm like, if I just stay with it, I could be on the other side and be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, Ron, in that 8 months, did you have a job or were you like fully committed to?
I got fired from every job I had. I was legit getting fired from the temp service, like just trying to figure it out, but God wouldn't let me be comfortable. Every time I got a job, I would just get fired. And I was good at accounting, but for some reason, he's like, nah, this ain't your path, but keep going to work. You know what I'm saying? So I just stayed with it. And comedy, eventually, it went from a hustle to a career. And I think it became a career when I moved to LA.
Okay.
Yeah.
As far as it becoming a career for you, is there a moment where it clicked where you're like, you know what, I'm never applying for another job? Or did you just get so busy doing work in the industry that it was go from there?
Nah, I don't think it was ever a straight path. I just remember being in LA and I was sleeping on my homeboy. He had like an extra room, my frat brother. And I kept getting fired from my job. And I remember I finally got a job in Long Beach as an accountant. It was the most money I ever made. They used to have dessert for employees on Friday. Just a good situation. And my friend hit me up and said, hey, my friend is an agent. She got a commercial audition for you. You want to try it? I'm like, all right. So I lied, told my boss my car broke down. I went to the audition and I got it. And the next day she hit me up. She said, hey, Ron, can you be in Miami next week to shoot these 5 commercials? It's for Checkers and Rallies. You know Checkers and Rallies?
Yeah. Miss Checkers.
The spokesperson. I didn't know what a spokesperson was. And my first audition, I'm sure it was trash, but I had personality and I was charming. I'm like, I got this. And she was like, can you show up Friday? And I was like, I just got a job. I don't know if I can. I got rent due in about 2 weeks. So I asked my boss, and this was a defining moment, a lady named Mary. And I said, hey, I know I just started and I don't have no vacation time, but do you mind if I go to Miami Friday for this commercial I booked? Kind of, sort of. And she was like, I'll just say this. If you're not here Monday, you're fired. And that was the beginning
That
of,
sound right.
You gonna trust your 9 to 5 or you gonna trust this thing, this gift that God gave you? And I called my mom. She was supposed to come that week. And I said, Mom, if I have other people show you around the city, so first time on the plane, first time in LA, would you mind if I go shoot these commercials? And she was like, isn't that why you moved? And I was like, yeah. So I shot like 4 commercials that week and I ain't worked the 9 to 5 6 since. But, you know, it's been lean. Like the beginning part was like, it take a while before you start making bread at this thing. It takes a long time. But then once I start making money, I'm like, oh, okay.
How long was you in Atlanta before you went to LA?
I wasn't that long, probably a couple of years.
Why the move to LA after only a couple of years?
From South Carolina, it wasn't that far. It was only 3 hours. And I used to go there every summer to see my cousin. And I just fell in love with Atlanta because there's something about, Atlanta got the best music ever. If you go listen to a radio station, driving from South Carolina to Atlanta, the radio station frequency sound louder, crispier. And you like, ooh, it's an energy in the city. I'm like, I got to move here. When I moved there, for some reason, I feel like God told me you're going to outgrow this place sooner or later. And I don't know how, but it happened. I figured it out. And I used to go to Uptown all the time. And I'm just a kid from the hood, but I went to college. My voice was different. And I felt like I didn't necessarily have a space to like find my voice in that environment because that was the boo phase where they bring you up like, we don't know this next nigga coming to the stage, but hopefully he funny. Y'all show him some love.
Right.
And they used to throw
used to do.
tennis balls. They used to get the crowd tennis balls, keys, turn the music on soon you start talking. Like they set you up to lose. And you like, how can I get funny if nobody
Giving me a goddamn chance.
give me a chance? OGs don't say nothing to you. They just look at you like, all right, you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the great Tyler Craig, he was one of them dudes like, hey, keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Craig would show me love. It's probably like 1 or 2 OGs be like, yo, you got it, bro. You got something special. Just don't just keep going. But I realized the more I watched it, because I always compare comedy to like, if you're an athlete, at a certain point when you start doing, I play football, when you start doing them hitting drills and y'all doing them Oklahomas, you lay on your back, you determine when you get up and run at that person, you decide whether after this hit, you gonna join the band or you gonna figure it out and keep playing. And I'm an athlete by heart, so I'm competitive and I just figured it out and I just stayed with it. And I found out like the people I thought that was better than me, they were just more confident. They weren't funnier.
Facts.
How's your cousin today? Is he still a comedian?
He took some time off. He's back now, which I'm really happy for him. He's legit one of the funniest cats I know. He's a really good writer, man. But he just started back, and that makes me happy. Okay. Happy for him.
How long you been in LA, Ron?
Man, 15 plus years.
15. So what's a lot of people go to LA, they in LA for a little bit, and then they leave LA.
Yeah.
What's the secret, in your opinion, if you were giving advice to the number of comics that are listening to this in terms of making it in LA and having some staying power?
LA don't make sense. It won't. There's nothing I can tell you to prepare you for. It's like, I don't know if any of y'all married or you have a kid. There's nothing you can prepare for somebody for the other side. You just got to know that you're gonna have what you need when you get there. And LA is one of the places where you can't bring your ego, because there's always somebody more popular than you, more famous than you. And I just see a lot of cats come with I call it back home energy. Like back home, you can curse out a promoter, be like, you don't put me up, like what? And then you do that in LA, the city too small. There ain't no stages to be cursing people out.
Right.
And then you don't work no more. Now you mad to them, they be hating out there. They little cliques. I'm like, no, people, you just ain't likable. People want to work with people they like. And that's it. Because everybody here knows people who are untalented, but work all the time.
Yeah.
It's because when people like you, you'll always work. And that's why I said you got to keep your ego to the side. And like, while you feel like this one stage will change your life, because I host Chocolate Sundays and comics be like, oh, this stage is going to change my life. It's a great platform, but I don't think it'll change your life. You just got to keep working and grinding and make enough noise to where even if you don't get that, you still dope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to know that. Because I just got passed at the Comedy Store, and Martin Lawrence went up there, and the young white guys at the door, they didn't know who he was. And they turned him around because I think Dan Cook was there that night. Because they don't know, but it's like Martin, you can't. He's Martin, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you gonna let not being able to get your name on the wall at this one place stop you from being great? Like, It is what it is, you know? So it's just, you got to leave your ego at home and just know that God is bigger than any stage or any one person that you think can change your life.
So Sean, you went to LA. How long were you out in LA for? The other side of the box.
So no, I won't say that. So the first time I was in LA, I started comedy in San Diego, then I migrated to LA.
Did you?
Right? Yeah, I started in
that.
San Diego and I moved to LA. So what ended up making me leave LA was I see how funny the Chicago niggas was even then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's 20-something years ago. And I said, well, shit, I'm from Chicago. Yep. I'm going to go home and I'm going to train, right? So I got home and I trained. And then Comic View, Bad Boys of Comedy, all this shit happened while I was still here.
Yep.
So I felt like at that point I had brought Hollywood to me and I got comfortable. I was fucking who I wanted to fuck here and doing everything I wanted to here. So I was like, there's no need for me to go back to LA.
Yeah.
I'm fucking king here. So then I went back to LA when I was married. That wasn't under the best of circumstances. So I came home for, he can tell stories about that shit. So I came home for surgery and then the pandemic happened. So I just never went back.
Yeah.
Got you.
But you was cooking though. When you was in LA, bro, you was cooking. Even on your worst days, you was cooking. I'm like, we have conversation before you went on stage, bro.
Yeah.
Your birthday show. And bro, like you destroyed it. And for me, watching you be resilient and go through all that, I think it's dope. Because most cats don't know you. They see little sound bites and be like, nah, that dude, you special, bro.
I appreciate it.
But sometimes you don't know it because you're around people who don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
special people never feel, sometimes you don't feel welcome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even in your own home. Like when I go home, my dad be like, hey, you know you can still use your accounting degree, right? I'm like, Dad, I make more money than both you and my mama.
Right.
In 2 months for the year. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But they don't know. Sometimes they don't know.
Yeah. Nah, I get it. So I just never had I haven't been there for prolonged expanded periods of time. I was there when I was married, I was there from 17 to 19. And like you said, when I was there, the noise level was clicking up, but then I had to leave because of I had to have surgery.
Yeah.
And so my mom and dad didn't feel comfortable with me in my wife's care because of what we was going through.
Yeah.
So they was like, come on home. And literally I came home. It was an all-star break. So I said, well, I stay for the all-star break. And then fucking COVID hit right after.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just never got back out there.
And side note, just as a comic too, man, part of the reason is like, you got to know what you want to do with your life. And the other one's like, who you going to choose and do life with? Because that can affect you too. Because I've seen cats who date people who don't get where you're going. And the cracking the plane on the ground is not a problem. But you got to find somebody who get where you're going and the person you're going to be versus like where you at. Because some people only see you for where you at. And they'll hold you back.
Well, I mean,
I'm not even talking about your situation. For me, I dated a girl before I met my wife.
I can say in my situation, right? I think that, and I don't badmouth her, but I could say this. I think that she thought because of the level of people I was in communication with, that it was going to be a quicker ride than it really was.
Man,
so like it became a question of like, quick example, her mom and sisters came to LA, right? Mm-hmm. And they went sightseeing. So we had a couple cars. We just gave them one of the cars, and then they went sightseeing. So they bumped into Anthony Anderson while they was out. So they excited. They take pictures. So I called Ant. I was like, "Hey, you just out with Mama Shirley?" He was like, "Oh, that's your people." I said, "Yeah, that's my mother-in-law." He was like, "Damn, that's crazy. Small world." So they all looking like, "Damn, this nigga could just pick up the phone and call Anthony Anderson." Like, yeah, this been my man for a while because of the barbershop. Mm-hmm. So she like, "Well, why don't you ask that nigga for some help?" So I said, "Babe, like that ain't how it works. We comedic actors that roughly in the same range. So it's not in his best interest to help me." Right? And this is how I explained it. And she was like, "Well, he big time. You low level. Just tell him, do you need a low level nigga? You need a low level.
A low level?
Yeah, low level agent. Just a nigga though." You know. I'm sorry. So I said, look, I gave her my phone. I said, "Look, you can text and say whatever you want to say."
Wow.
Right? Because this is how this conflict resolution when you marry. Here, take my phone. Fuck it. Do whatever. So she texts him like, "Hey man, I'm out here. I got a family, bro. Like, we need money, you know?" Like on that shit. And,
he low level.
Right.
He low level.
Wait, was she texting like she was you?
She was me. Yeah. So it was like, nigga, I'm over here. My wife hate me. We need sandwiches.
Hashtag low level.
So he texts exactly what I knew he would text back. He was like, "I don't know nobody right now." And I told her, she was like, as a matter of fact, she said this to me, and it did fuck with me at the time, not so much no more. But she was like, "You're overrated as fuck. Like nobody really fucks with you," and it's proven because every time niggas get the opportunity to shit on you, they do it. And I was like, and then she brought up little examples, little shit that happened between certain people that I still hold in confidence, but. It was like, shit is what it is. Yeah, but like you said, it's important. Like she thought, oh, this nigga know Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart gonna do whatever tomorrow, and that's not how any of that shit works.
But this is the thing that most people don't talk about. This is the side of comedy most people don't talk about. Being an actor, an entertainer, a comedian, and a black man, the amount of no's you hear. So can you imagine the amount of no's you hear on a regular basis? Then you come home and you hear no.
Yeah,
like that'll mess your head up to where it's like. That's why marriages don't work sometimes, because you get praised by the world. The world's like, "Oh, he's the guy," and you come home, you get reminded. Right. That's why it's important to pick a partner.
Shit to them niggas. To me, you just get over there and wash them dishes, man.
Which goes back to what I said: being special sucks sometimes, even with people that you love, because everybody ain't gonna get your dream. That's why you got to date somebody who can handle where you're going and not where you at.
No, they never see it. I always tell people, like, I've had friends that I had to tell them that I couldn't fuck with them because I was too close. They couldn't see me. You're nearsighted. You can't see shit that's too close. Yeah. So I got to back up so you can see and comprehend what the fuck you actually in the presence of. Right. And people don't understand that, but it's true. Like when niggas can pick up the phone and call you. Like I had a friend that was like the top 5 comedians in Chicago. I said, "Well, what about 10?" And my name wasn't 10. I was like, "Man, get the fuck out of here." Yeah. I ain't in the 10, nigga. So yeah, okay. So let me back up because clearly you can't see me.
But also, you shouldn't give anybody the power to appraise you, because everybody ain't gonna get it.
Yeah.
Like nobody should have the power to appraise you, from the person you dating to your agent, your manager. There's gonna be a part of you that no matter who represents you or who in your space, everybody ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that should be principle. Like when I toured with Kat and I came to Chicago, right? And niggas was hitting me like, "Nigga, you murdered that Cat shit." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been murdering shit for years, block." And they didn't understand why I'm blocked.
You looking for a compliment?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because nigga, if I couldn't recollect you coming out and spending $10, if I couldn't recollect you coming out and spending $10 to support me over a 20-year span, but the first compliment you give me is supporting another motherfucker you've never met, then you don't fuck with me. So text Cat. Go tell him how
folks be going through stuff. Like folks don't talk to their mama, but be wishing Beyonce a happy birthday.
Yeah, that shit bananas.
Like people weird.
Yeah. So be weird over there. Go tell Cat how you feel.
He said block.
Yeah.
You did great last night.
I did. I ain't gonna even lie. Everybody who said how great I did on the Cat tour in Chicago that I don't recall ever supporting me at Jokes and Notes or anywhere that was even popular. I'm not even asking you to come to some shit that ain't popular. Right. Jokes and Notes was the shit. So you never come to any of this shit to support me. You don't really support me. So it's cool, but don't talk to me now.
Is that something that all comedians deal with, or do you think that it's unique to like Chicago?
Was that not being supported?
Yeah, because we say that in Chicago. Like, is this something that it doesn't matter like what market
I think
you're
it's
in?
part of the game.
Yeah, that's just part of it.
It's a lot of people.
So it's
don't
part
get
of the
you.
course.
Yeah,
Home doesn't really show you love. You get more love when you go other places.
Yeah. Well, see, I can say this about Chicago. This is the only place that I know that if you got to get your love somewhere else first. Like Houston comedians love Houston comedians. Atlanta comedians love Atlanta comedians. Chicago got to go somewhere else and get that love.
Get a cosign.
And that's where everything. The only nigga to get love from here to stay here was R. Kelly. Everybody else had to move. Common had to move, go to New York. Then when niggas vibed with him out there, they did it. Everybody had to come back.
You think that's the same on the comedy side though?
Yeah.
I feel like D Random was getting a lot
they
of
had to go to LA.
No, I feel like before.
Yeah. You got to understand, even when Riddles was popping, the original Riddles was popping, he was already in LA. So Michi was hosting until he fired Michi and then brought back Little Real. Because when I thought I was like that.
Said Michi gonna hate that motherfucker recall and shit.
I mean, that's what it was.
No, that's just
I ain't get into why he got fired. But I mean, that's what happened. So he picked up Little Real. And that's what it was. But he was already in LA. He was already doing shit. So by the time barbershop and all that shit was out, he was already in LA.
So Ron, talking about like you've been in LA for a while.
Yeah.
There's always conversations about different markets when it comes to comedy in different cities. What's your top 5 cities if you had to look at who's put out the hardest and toughest comics?
Man, respectfully,
and keep it funky.
I can only think 2 right now. Chicago, hands down, number 1.
Okay.
I did the Laugh Factory here a few years back.
Yeah.
And they was doing guest spots on there. And I ain't never did a show where even the open micers was funny. I ain't never seen that ever in life. It used to be, feature headliner. They feature be mid, headliner be cool or charming or got followers.
Yeah.
And everybody else be all right. When I tell you everybody was funny,
right.
It was like some white dude. I'm like, I don't know who he was. I'm like, he was cooking. And I'm like, this is what Chicago do?
Yeah.
Chicago different, bro. And I love it. And I think sometimes too, when you're in a city where Chicago's a hard city.
Yeah.
But watching black people smile and dress up and like still do life on a level that's, you like, y'all should be depressed, but still be happy. That's what makes Chicago special. So I'm gonna say Chicago, definitely Atlanta. Atlanta's a dope comedy city because it's a lot of bars and mics. And I remember doing my spot when I first started in Atlanta where I got funny in the place where they had the TVs on the whole time. TVs and you interfering with the game. And they're like, man, if you don't move the microphone. And you got to fight through all that.
Yeah.
I like DC too. DC is a really dope city because you got hood niggas that know politics. And I think that's special. That's a special thing where you like, you sell dope and know what a filibuster is. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Like it's a different vantage point. And then I'm gonna just say, Austin is. I just went to Austin for the first time about a couple weeks ago. Austin is special too. I'm not saying all the comics there are funny, but the access you get, like the few black comics I know that live there, you get to check. I performed 5 times in one day in Austin. I ain't never seen that before. Besides New York,
right?
Like Austin is a really cool place if you're trying to figure it out and get your chops right.
Yeah,
Austin's cool, and then I'm gonna say New York too. But also I think New York is cool, but there's blind spots attached to it because you're around certain groups of people that ain't in the rest of the country. So doing a Jamaican accent or doing a Puerto Rican accent, ain't a lot of Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans outside of New York.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's why they kind of like.
So it's a blind spot. It's great to have because you got a reference point. You got a pocket full of watching a white comic do a Jamaican accent. But when you come to LA, you like
it falls flat.
Yeah.
Nah, that's why like outside of like the Kings in New York, I've seen New York comedians kind of struggle on the road because they do, like they go bodegas and like niggas don't know what a bodega is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of cab jokes.
Yeah.
African jokes and shit.
And I think some of them are not finding their voice, and they become comics who they think they should be, and it don't work other places. Yeah. Like that gritty, in your face comedy don't work for this generation because people are too sensitive.
Yeah,
you can't be 20-year-old Bill Burr in a city like LA because LA people sensitive. You can't be talking like that because like you got to have a little salt and pepper in the family right. to have that kind of chip on your shoulder for it to translate to the people. And I seen New York cats come up like, you need blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they don't work here.
Yeah. So, Ron, before we get any further, I know our viewers and listeners want to hear a wild story from Punk'd. You got anything? One wildest story?
I don't know if I can say it. Take me to a dark place. All right,
don't go too dark.
I'll try my best. So, man, we were punking Karuchi, and she probably don't even know this, but during the sketch was we were supposed to pick her up from downtown and take her to this club in Hollywood. And I'm the driver. For some reason, when we did it on BET, I was the driver and everything. They didn't have a budget, so I just had to drive them places and stuff happened while we were in the truck. But as I was picking her up, the camera guy was supposed to be paparazzi and like was supposed to harass her. We were supposed to get to the gas station. I throw a sandbag under the truck, drive over the truck, and it looks like I ran him over. And she's supposed to freak out. So pick her up. Camera guy comes out harassing her. I'm like, yo, this is my client. Leave her alone. We get in the truck. We get halfway. And I'm like, hey, look, something's wrong because her manager was in on it. I was like, yo, I'm gonna go pull over, get some oil for the truck, and then we're gonna take you to the destination. She was like, ain't nothing wrong with this truck. So I get out, going to the gas station. As I go into the gas station, camera guy comes out. I come and try to be like, yo, get off my client. All this is happening, right? As I grab him, the police pull up in real life. And this is the week that Sandra Bland died, Philando Castile. Black America is uptight because of people getting shot and killed. I had 5 police officers pull a gun on me in real time while I'm doing this thing. And I'm like panicking because the person I'm doing the sketch with, the camera guy, is supposed to come out and protect me and be like, yo, we just whatever. They put him on the other side of the truck. I couldn't see him. So I'm standing here with police with guns in my face. And I'm like, hey, I'm shooting the show. And they're like, get your ass on the ground. And I'm like, yo, like I'm shooting the show. And I'm talking to the producers in the ear. I was like, yo, can y'all come get me?
Right. Is there a code word?
Y'all see what's happening?
They didn't come. They kept recording the whole time.
Ain't that?
If you see that episode,
you got that?
Yeah. Pineapples. Hell, code red. Man down. And they kept filming. Like, why did you got a gun in my face? And then finally they came out. Police, like I said, I got a wire on me because I'm filming or whatever. And they were like, oh, okay, cool. Don't do that again, whatever. And so we get back in the car. And Karuchi like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know what happened. And I drove to the club and I dropped her off and I had a full meltdown. Until this day, I still can't relax. Like even now, I have to like be in my head, be like, Ron, you need to relax because I'm uptight because I just remember that moment of not feeling protected, which is a whole childhood trauma when you like don't feel protected. It'll remind you of like not feeling. The little kid in me yelling out for help and nobody came to get me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit can go left with them motherfuckers.
It did. And I was like, to this day, man, again, like, and then the worst pain on the planet is pain you can't point at. So how do you tell a therapist this hurts? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you just have to live with it. So even the week after it happened, I used to go blank on stage and I was terrified. I'm like, what if my career's over? Because I can't remember because trauma protects you by like making your mind go bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on stage just blank stare, you know, like on the movies, it's the dream sequence and your ears ringing. Woo, you sitting there like, I don't know what's happening.
I told this bitch up.
Yeah. Right. Nervous laughter, trying to fill in the blanks. Right. And then your system start updating. You're like, oh, okay, all right. But then I finally got through it, man. But it's one of them things like, people say God don't make mistakes. I don't know what the purpose of that was, but that really messed me up till this day, man. So, and again, you just scream in silence. You can't do nothing about it.
Ain't made no mistake. You came out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of motherfuckers don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, especially in that time.
Yeah, but even now, like if I hear cops are like, I can't watch a video of somebody getting harmed by cops because they take me to that place.
Right. Yeah.
People are like, why you ain't speaking up? I'm like, I can't. That's why I can't check in because I'm like,
right.
Yeah, I understand.
Did that experience change how it is that you thought about the show in terms of like what types of
Nah, I mean, just,
what types of scenes?
It's just a gentle reminder of you're a product of some people.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like you're just a product, like just in general. Like to
expendable,
denying your humanity. Like it's government. Like for every billionaire, a group of people have to die in order for that to happen. Some group of people have to be oppressed or die or
no doubt.
eat some bad something in order for somebody to be a billionaire.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And that's in any industry. So it's just a reminder, like life is fragile and you have to do what's best for you sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I want to tag you in, Knowledge. So in thinking about the comedy festival, it isn't just getting people on stage to tell jokes, right? Like there are panels where these types of discussions are prevalent. Are you thinking like for 2025, there will be mental health conversations and self-care conversations for the second comedy festival?
Yeah. Actually, me and Rel, we discussed that the other day in terms of what we call them conversations, right? What those conversations look like. This past one, we did have one on mental health. I think we had one, Tears of a Clown, right? So we try to talk about those things. 'Cause obviously, most people come out to shows, they look for them to be funny, but they got real shit going on in their lives, you know? And so we had some really powerful stuff this past session. And so, we're going to continue to do that. I think even what we're doing here, I think is unique and special because I think a lot of comics are checking this out because it's not just about the funny. It's about, you didn't drop a million jewels. Sean always drops stories, et cetera. You know, if you're 4 or 5 years in, like you said, maybe you're not getting that mentorship or what have you. This is like, a virtual mentor, right? Ron just dropped something that I can pack away now and it's going to help me to kind of maneuver and so forth. So, we're definitely going to do that, Mila. That's an important part of what we're doing, especially for Black and Brown comics, right? It's just kind of creating those resources in that environment so that we can share those types of things and have those conversations.
I was going to add, too, I feel like the hardest part about comedy is not being funny. The hardest part is having balance, and nobody teach you balance. If you're unfathered, if you come from a house where you don't have discipline, and you get this craft, this beautiful craft, this gift that God lay in your lap from all your childhood stuff, and now you got a reason for why you went through it, and you go on stage with this platform, and now you sharing this gift. When you're good at it, it comes with women, it comes with drugs, it comes with access. You have access to women and people and things that you never had your entire life. And if you don't know how to manage it or you don't know how to regulate yourself, even eating, like a lot of comedians, they diet bad because you get free chicken wings and fries.
Right.
They come along with the craft. And if you don't know balance, if you don't know how to know your appetite for things, even if it's women, whatever it is, it can take you out. And usually once it happens, you don't come back because it's not a blatant, if you do this, your empire crumbles. I think even as men, we never work on the things that help us sustain it once we get to the goal. We want the goal, but the things that help us get to the goal and sustain it once we get it. Let's just say if you want to be, I want to be a dope road comic and I want a family and I want a kid. What does that look like if you gone all the time? You don't know how to communicate. You have no regulation because you have access and the people around you telling you yes. You know what I'm saying? You have a kid who don't care nothing about your career. You come home and you know what I'm saying? Like you checked out because you numb and thinking about traveling and your lady going to demand a certain part of you too. And it's like, it's a lot. And again, if you don't have the tools or I won't even say a mentor, but just somebody in your space where you have a reference point for the stuff you say you want, man, this comedy can take you out. It can be the best and it can be a gift and a curse to you. No doubt.
Nah, I can honestly say that was probably my biggest pitfall. You know what I mean? Like, a few people got upset because I said it publicly. I felt like there was no mentorship from them people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and because I achieved and accomplished a lot young, people took it as I was an older comic. So you got to understand, like, when Who Got Jokes came out, I wasn't even 30 yet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when all these films was and TV shows and everything, Sean Morgan, he's this great comedian, people forgot I was still a fucking kid. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And so, it led to alcoholism. It led to bad attitudes. It led to a bunch of shit because people didn't see the underside. Like me getting bullied because I was funny. Now I'd fuck this nigga on everything. Yeah. Like when Bernie Mac died, literally, it was a thing where niggas was upset. And you remember this. Niggas was upset that I was in the obituary. Like, motherfuckers was legit mad. Like, how the fuck this nigga get in an obituary? It's like, nigga, it's a TV credit. Obituary. Right. That was a credit. Right. But people were literally angry, bro. Right. They was literally angry. Yeah. Like, I just lost not just my friend dad, But a nigga that I looked up to, who I could help, who I could talk to that could help me. Like, this is when I'm processing. Like, everybody lost, the world lost Bernie Mac, but I lost a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, like, for that to be a thing, like, I was like, damn, ain't nobody gonna step in and be like, leave this nigga alone once.
Yeah.
So I feel you, bro. I feel you.
But
And that's why I do above and beyond to make younger comedians feel comfortable in that, and they're in a safe space, because that's what you're supposed to do, in my opinion. You know, just like if somebody would have tapped me earlier that I respected, like, hey man, you probably drink a little too much, or hey man, you yell at bitches too much, or just anything. Who knows what could have been different.
But sometimes big bros be big hoes too. They be hating on you. As long as you're not doing well, they'll big bro you to death. But then you get past them. And I think I feel like there's a whole generation of comedy, especially in the urban comedy scene, where we didn't get a chance to have big bros, and now we big bro. Yeah. For me, I feel I ain't gonna say I feel betrayed, but I had a lot of success early too when I first moved to LA, and I skipped the line. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then OG stopped talking to you.
Yeah.
Or
we was the young niggas together. We did Who Got Jokes together.
Man, my first time going on the road with somebody was Bill Bellamy. I did a couple dates, and I did D-Ray. That's why I'm like, I'm so grateful for D-Ray, because D-Ray was like, I want you to go on the road with me because I want to get sharper. And I was like, for me, that made me like, all right, because he didn't have to do it, but it's like, nobody's taking you on the road. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be a very specific comedy to take somebody like me and you on the road. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what I give off on stage, and that ain't always easy to follow. Energy and all that stuff, and it's like, it's different. So, but again, like being that generation where you never had a big bro, somebody be like, yo, I got you, bro. Like, I'm watching you. I see what you're doing. You know, that's special to have that. But God, I think sometimes for his chosen, you don't always get the luxury of doing that. So you got to buckle up and be like, all right, God, I don't have what I need, but I have everything I need to be that to other people.
And I'm glad you just said what you just said, because a lot of people don't even understand that basic principle that you can be too funny sometimes, right? Yeah. Like, that's what Bernie told me. The first shit he ever said to me is, the funnier you are, the less you work.
You would get fired.
So you
get fired at work for being good.
That's why, like, I got into little scuffles with motherfuckers, right? Because they'll say shit like, oh, I just bought this new Bentley, and then say some shit like, what you driving? Like, and it'd be shade and a shot. And so, like, it was this one dude, he was talking shit to me, and I was like, yeah, man, it must be nice as fuck to be followable. And he got pissed. I was like, you toured with like 3 niggas. So that means a lot of niggas comfortable going up after you. So that ain't a testament to talent. Right. Everybody like, hey, let me go up after this nigga. Right.
But they also is protocol too. Nobody talk about this. If an OG take you on the road, it's a certain protocol that you gotta have. If this man put money in your pocket, don't be trying to get no standing ovation. Just work on the stuff that don't work. They didn't come to see you. Right. Work on the stuff that don't work, and just be happy to be on the road. Now, if you want to get fired and shine, and that ain't your crowd. They ain't come to see you.
How would a young comic know that though?
They tell you.
Oh, the OGs tell you?
Yeah, they friends with niggas that give you a whole
if you know
piece
OG's
of
got a certain lane, and all they do is talk about relationship stuff, talk about stuff. It's certain, and then you can get fired for having the same type as an OG. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a lot of stuff, and comedians, we all fragile. Yeah. Every last one of us, even the successful ones, are very fragile. But as a young comic, you got to do research and read the room. And a lot of times, young comics don't read the room because they trying to get a standing ovation and outdo the headline. I'm like, do you want to work or you want to get the standing ovation? Yeah, you got to pick one.
So speaking of young comedians and comedic skills, what would you all say are some important essential skills besides writing that a comedian needs to have to be successful with their set?
Learning how to read the room.
That's the number one,
Now, what does that mean, though?
Few things. One is the little
jokes,
room.
Look at the white people. If it's white people, you can't say nigga a lot. You can't say bitch.
Yeah, not around company.
And niggas. And
you said not around company.
Not around company.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then, too, black women are 80% of comedy. Why are we doing jokes making black women feel bad? Like, why? What? They buy tickets. Dudes only come to comedy clubs because they lady there, they girl there.
They bought the tickets.
Or they trying to get a lady.
They trying to get one.
That's what it is.
So why would you do a bunch of jokes that's pissing on women when they buy the tickets? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, if I give women smoke, I give guys smoke too, where I'm like, I'll set them up and they be like, ooh, that's, you hit on the man. And I'm like, hold on, before you start laughing, what about y'all? You know what I'm saying? I'm very intentional about doing what they don't know how to read the room. And even with reading the room, when you in the green room and you see OGs in there, let them talk. Nobody want to hear you work out material in front of these OGs. Like, bro, that's disrespectful. If Chappelle doing a session and he is giving us game, why are you chiming in? Like, just let him talk. Like, I'm around so many OGs and I don't even ask them nothing. I'm just like, I'm a student and I want to learn. One time we had like a little, we was at the Improv and all the comedians talking. Jay Leno walked in there and somebody asked him about being clean. And he was like, when I started doing comedy, everybody was blue. Everybody was trying to be Richard Pryor. And I realized when I was clean, I could make way more money than them because everybody was doing the same thing. I wanted to do something different. And we just sitting here listening. Comedy's chiming in. I'm like, why are you talking? Right. Jay Leno.
Jay Leno was talking.
Let him talk. What are you doing? And for me, I'm a comedy connoisseur. Like, I love comedy so much. I know Michael Williams from the Comedy Act Theater. I met him. I just sat there and let him talk. I know J. Anthony Brown. He went to school with my dad. Like, George Wallace, the great George Wallace. I like getting information from OGs because they can tell you stuff. And everything we go through now has been done a generation before.
Right.
But we act like it's new because of social media. And it's all the same thing. It's just you prepare yourself for the level you want, but you do that by listening and learning.
Yeah.
So we have Read the Room. Right? Anything else?
Yes. Be likable.
Well, yeah, be humble, work on jokes, polish them before you move on.
Yeah.
Too many people have this stigma of not wanting to repeat jokes and shit like that. Like, that's part of becoming a great comic, polishing what you got and then moving on once that said joke is polished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of these dudes, they be, man, you both be saying the same shit. Yeah, well, if you at the same Wednesday every week, no. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But if you hear Wednesday, they over there Thursday or whatever, I even got a joke about it. I'd be like, shit, if you just seen this shit, then you go out too much.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny.
You made a joke about working out your jokes.
Yeah. Like, shit,
That's
if you seen this recently, nigga, you go out too much. But yeah, you got to work on I see too many young people put the pressure of wanting to perform new shit every single time you see them.
Insane.
Yeah. That's unreasonable.
I was gonna say too, and LA is different. It's just building relationships, like just making friends. Like even with OGs, I always come with an offering. Like I host Chocolate Sundays, and for me, every young comic like, "Hey man, put me up." I'm like, "I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking." That bothers me so bad.
Yeah.
When you don't ask me how I'm doing before you ask me for something,
yeah,
they be like, "We should hang out." You don't want to hang out with me. Don't do that. You don't want to hang out. You just want to get on the show. Like just say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think showing up with an offering is a great way to disarm the person you're trying to get something from. Example, I became cool with D-Ray, Chris Spencer, all the OGs I think who are great writers. Hey, can I give you a tag? And I'll give them a tag. They be like, oh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? And you build a friendship where they trust my pen.
right.
They like, okay, cool. You ain't just asking me for something. And later on, they be like, hey, I got the show coming up. You want to? I'm like, cool. Because you built a rapport versus like, hey, man, put me up. I'm funny. I'm funny in my hometown. I'm in LA. Put me up. Like that never works. Befriend people. Get to know people. Get to know like their family. I had another OG. He was a booker in LA. He was a dick. He was a dick to everybody. But we started talking. He mentioned he had a daughter. So every time I see him, I didn't ask him about the stage time. How your daughter doing? How your baby girl doing? Oh man, she just graduated. I'm like, that's dope, man. Found out he my frat brother. All right, cool. Now we talking about that. Hey, little nigga, I got the show. You wanna do the show? And I'm like, making friendships instead of asking for the thing because I have an offering versus like being a consumer because everybody a consumer and it's annoying.
Yeah. Facts.
So you had anything else?
Go ahead.
Okay, so question. Is timing or delivery more important for a really good joke? What do you all think?
I think being present is more important because sometimes that same joke that hit a certain kind of way, when you're present and you're listening, the crowd gonna tell you how to give it to them. Like when I'm around white folks, I slow it down a little bit and I'm a little bit more articulate. When I'm in the hood crowd, I say it the way I say it, but then I'll add my little twang to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just depending on the room. In that moment, I'm present and the room will tell me how to deliver it versus like being stuck on timing and delivery. I don't think there's a specific way to do anything every time. As long as I'm present, because people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. And that's important to me.
Well, Knowledge, when you look at comedians for the festival, are you looking at how present they are? Like what type of material do they even send in? Are they sending like clips and reels that are on Instagram? Are they just doing it for you? What does that look like?
It varies. Like anytime you do something where there's like submissions, Some people are super crisp with what they're sending in. Some people, it was just what they did last night with their cell phone. You got a bunch of heads in front of them and they're on stage. So it varies. I think that's kind of, I don't know, Ron can probably confirm or not, but that's probably I think LA comics, they get it because they understand the business of it a bit more.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're outside of that space, you don't, right? Your headshot is one you took in the club and you got to crop a couple people out. Like, yo,
airbrush photo in the back.
Yeah, like that's not it. And so I think, but at the end of the day, when I'm looking at, 50, 60 comics, I'm just trying to get a blend of people, right? I don't want all one type of comic. I want different comics, have different type of material, et cetera. And so I'm trying to put the best collection of comics together. Yeah. And so that's probably what I'm looking at.
Okay.
I got a follow-up question for him, man. Last time we spoke, last time I was here, man, and you said something that really let me know that you know the formula. And I feel like a lot of, especially in Hollywood, they know what's popular, but they don't know the formula. The recipe, sometimes you can't redo Big Mama recipe.
Yeah, fact.
The recipe is stuff that Sean talking about. The stuff that Chip is on his shoulder. It's the recipe. He knows the recipe, and he's done it so many times. And I think, too, we talked about, there's a generation in between social media and comic view. Yeah. They got all the answers for this generation. But they ain't necessarily popular because some of them's like, I'm not doing the social media stuff. Yep. And some of them are doing it and finding their way, but it's still because people know what's popular. But I feel like you got the answer for what's missing. And I feel like it's a $1 billion industry that the folks wanted. We just don't know it because it's almost like toxic podcasts. How long are we going to talk about what men and women do? At some point, you got to have answers. Yeah. At some point, you got to have an answer. And you have the answer. I got the answer. I'm around some dogs, bro. Like, even in Hollywood, I do a bunch of mics. So young cats, they be like, they don't want to put me on a Chocolate Sunday. This is a 6-year waiting list. I'm like, because you ain't working. Right. It's been young comics where I go to an open mic and I'm like, you dope. Hey, I'm hosting Sunday. Come see me. And now I'll introduce them and they're like, you ain't got to wait 5 years because, again, it's relationship. And you're doing the work versus like, you got followers and then you have some charm about you. And my agent said I need to do a set. I'm like, all right. Do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you have the answer. And I'm telling you, you have the thing that the world needs. Bro. I don't know what your energy is because sometimes you be like, I'm tired. I don't feel like dealing with this more. I get it. But the world needs that thing. That's what, because them suits, they not going to comedy clubs. They just looking at followers. Yep. And the people that's really in these streets, no comedy will, that's what the people want. But sometimes we so used to GMO that we think the GMO is the good food. And when you have some good food, you like, oh, you see like a Sean Morgan or like a CP or myself or, you know what I'm saying? Like a Grady, you like, oh, okay. I like this. Where they been at? And they've been here the whole time. Yeah. But you got the answer for that. I appreciate it, just got to create the platform, whatever that is, because it's missing. Trying to build it, with this in the festival, just trying to build a layer of provide some of the infrastructure. I use infrastructure word a lot. I think like a lot of what you talk about really is the overall business of comedy. And sometimes I don't know. We just don't necessarily focus on the business enough sometimes, right? Yep. Like you just need to be funny enough, right? If you really get rolling and get your career going, they got writers for the movie, right? You just got to come in and kill it. You might do a little improv or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, become funny enough, but understand that business of it. Mm-hmm. And I think that creates, I think like Chris Spencer, right? Like Chris is just he's been able to operate for so long in that space, always working, always doing cool projects, et cetera. Yeah, he could be Dave Chappelle, but there's a lot of space in between, man. Yeah. If you love the craft, you just want to be in it. You want to work. You want to be able to take care of your family.
Byron Allen, a fucking billionaire.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean?
That's a whole nother level.
Start up being another level. Somebody gave me this really dope quote, and they said Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne said, "You can be hot for a season, or you can be warm for a lifetime."
Yeah.
And I think Chris Spencer is one example of just like bubbling. Yeah. Always got something going on, something cool, hosting something. Yeah.
TV and all that shit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a dope thing to have. And again, that comes from relationships as well. But some people think I need to be hot, and being hot right now, and next summer people don't want to see you again because you gave them a really good meal that wasn't done in the middle. Now you mad talking about, oh, they don't miss the clicks. Like,
Ron, you have great analogies. I love it.
I think the biggest, like I had a meeting, I'm gonna say with who, but they was talking about these shows, right? And so I was like, the reason that these shows are failing, the reason that Bad Boy failed, the reason that Def Jam failed, the reason Comic View recently failed again, is they got away from the basic principle of what made those shows great in the first place. And that was hungry fucking artists, right?
The recipe.
Martin, right, was barely on the scene. This was the house party nigga when Def Jam came out. He was nowhere near what he became. You know what I mean? But you had a hungry Martin. And why did people watch Def Jam? Because every week that nigga acted a fucking fool. People was there for Martin and stumbled on everybody else.
Yep.
Same thing with Comic View. People was fucking with DL. People was fucking with whatever. But what they all had in common from Comic View to Def Jam to all these shows that was successful was young, hungry, unknown talent. Everybody's trying to tap into this known shit. And that's why it's not working because, and it's no disrespect, I love some more, right? I love some more. But some more not finna give you her best shit on Comic View because she's still actively touring. And no one should expect her to do that. And you're the asshole for even asking her to do that. Hey, come in here and do my show for not what we pay white people to do the same shit for this amount of time, but and give us your best shit at the same time.
Right.
Deal? Like, no. You know what I'm saying? So they need to go back to the basic format, getting unknown people.
The hilarious low-level niggas.
Yeah. and let niggas prove themselves and not have to make it just a big-ass popularity contest.
So I want to move our conversation over to a little bit of urban comedy culture, right? Is there, in your opinion, a more iconic scene than Will Smith crying over his father not wanting him? If you think about TV, are there any scenes that come to mind that are more impactful than that one?
It's like a comedy sitcom movie.
Yeah, comedy
like
sitcom.
one of those.
Is there?
I mean, it's a lot. Shit, Edith dying on fucking. Edith dying on all of the family. Nigga, that shit was. I still cry. Nigga, I'm like, damn, Edith. Y'all took Edith, nigga. Edith. That's some bullshit, man. I mean, it's a lot of. You mean emotional or just iconic moments?
Just iconic.
Because like even the Martin with the motherfucking mouse when they was on vacation.
Chilligan's Island?
Nigga.
That's the first time I ever cried watching TV. That was amazing.
Yeah, that mouse shit was fucking
Chilligan's Island.
That ain't no damn puppet. Yeah, nigga. It's been so many. Especially like Ron said it best. If you're a student and you really love this shit and you submerge yourself in it, it's like way too many things to really name off like that.
I have an example. So again, it goes back to what we're talking about. The recipe. The recipe was, it gave a whole generation of young black kids hope. All the shows that we love. It was a symbol of hope. Like Martin was about love. Cosby Show was about love. All these shows we grew up loving was literally about love, but they take all that out of it and go for drama. And drama's cool. But I also feel like the reset is happening. I can feel the reset happening with social media where, again, we can talk about what men doing, what women doing. What's the answer? Yeah. I'm a clean black comedian. I don't have to announce it, but I do that because I'm like, I want some young comedy to be like, the fact there hadn't been a Sinbad since Sinbad.
Yeah.
It bothers me that Hollywood don't know. I'm sitting here like, I got answers. I got 2 TV shows. I got a reality show. I got all the things right now because I know when I perform, it's not about what I say. It's about how I make people feel. And people want that. I'm everybody's auntie favorite comedian.
Wait.
For a reason.
Everybody's auntie.
Everybody auntie. If your auntie see me, be like, I like him. I like him. He don't cuss. He like, you know what I'm saying? But you don't know it. But I feel like we want something different as a culture, but all we know is what we know. And sometimes you don't know it until you see it. I don't think everybody was planning on Cat when Cat happened. When Cat Williams came out, they weren't planning on this dude to take off, but he did because they didn't know what the difference was. When they saw it, they was like, oh, that's special. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, for our generation, we want something different. That's why all the 90s and 80s sitcoms work, because it gave us hope. Like, how many people went to college because we saw a different world?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we wanted to go to college.
Theo was a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he was.
But he went to college. He had dyslexia. Remember, they had to flip it?
Yep.
Yeah. At first, it was like he was just a dumbass. They're like, no, that's the reason.
Yeah.
So you, too, could be a legitimate
Gordon Gartrell.
dumbass.
Yeah. Gordon Gartrell. But those sitcoms, all those sitcoms you mentioned gave us hope. Like, even with Martin and Gina, you wanted a relationship like that. It was fun to watch. We like, it was our hope. You know, Uncle Phil was our dad. You know what I'm saying? It was like, but they take the heart and soul out of stuff and then they commercialize and gentrify it and be like, you guys want that? And we're like, no.
Yeah,
we'll watch it.
In all fairness, Rob, we did do it to ourselves in a certain aspect, especially like with music. You know, like my brother, we argue about this shit all the time. But he was like, the white man made the music. I was like, nah, we did this shit. Because when we was growing up, I know we had both narratives. For every NWA, we had a Public Enemy. We had Tribe Called Quest. We had Poor Righteous Teachers. We had the X-Clan. We had those. But it became a point where these albums came out, and I specifically remember niggas being like, man, if you'll get that backpacking ass shit up out of here. They wanted to hear killer shit.
But that's the GMO
thing. To be fed what you're responding to and then be like, oh, this ain't what I want.
Right.
It's fucking cap. It's a cap. So it's the same thing with comedy. Like you said, they go for drama and all that shit, but it's proof that even in like the gay joke, right? Everybody's like, oh, the gay joke cost me a Showtime special, right? But then you fast forward 10 years, it do 10 million on Chocolate Sundays. Like it's about how it's relayed, how things are done, and how people receive it. But you get what I'm saying.
We don't know what we need until we need it. That's why I said we're so used to GMO.
Yeah,
fake love, fake friends. Everybody ain't a trap star. Like,
and
this dude's in the middle.
We friends. We sit down and we actually have off kilter conversations.
Yeah.
It may not be a lot, but we don't miss a beat when we finally do talk because he's busy. He's married. He got kids. I'm busy. I do what I gotta do. I gotta work twice as hard to make half his money. So I got shit to do too, but it's authentic friendship, and that's always what it's.
I like when you be talking your talk though. It'd be funny. The comedy talk, the conversation in the car. That's the podcast.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Because it be real, but it's certain shit you can't.
It's your vantage point, and I think it's dope. Like everybody, it's all needed. Even if you think somebody's not funny, I think it's a part of the game. Because when somebody's mediocre and severely average, you can see somebody's dope and you like, ooh, they're great.
Yeah.
Compared to that. Yeah. That's how you find out people good looking.
Yeah.
But
you need enough ugly people to know somebody good looking.
That's the advantage that people like us have because we are funny people that ain't threatened by funny people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I hate to make this reference again, but like to be 6 feet tall, not bad looking niggas, we don't get the same advantage that other comedians get. We starting from under.
Yeah.
Because niggas is judging us the moment they see us, bro. And people think it's cap. But Bill Bellamy is iconic, bro. And I can say it 150,000 times. He does not get his props, bro, because niggas, they love him, but they busy still hating on this nigga.
He's very attractive.
Bill Bellamy is like the LL Cool J of comedy.
Exactly, bro.
I agree.
He accomplished everything you want to accomplish, but never get mentioned.
Never, bro.
Facts.
And it's insane. And it's all, and the only thing you can relate it to is the fact that chicks like the nigga.
Pretty
You
privileged.
hate me because your girl think I'm funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bananas, bro. Like people don't even understand. Like when I first came back with hair and fucking 40 pounds heavier, do you know how much bombing I was doing when I first came back out? Yeah, because I was the drunk, bald-headed, skinny nigga that niggas felt like they can come shove me down. You know what I'm saying?
They can do what? You know?
They can just shove me down.
Shove me down.
Shove me down.
Yeah. Knock this nigga. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
But once I got to a point, like my ex-wife even made this point. She said something to me. I was like, I'd never been called handsome. Prior to 2021, no one ever referred to me as handsome in my entire motherfucking life. So once it did happen and people said that, comedy got hard to the motherfucker.
I don't mean to laugh.
That's a t-shirt. Nobody's ever called me handsome.
Yeah, we got to
Until
catch motherfuckers out in the section.
2025.
I was always the funny nigga or the whatever nigga. I was never nobody.
You know
ever
what,
called me
Sean?
fucking
I'm gonna work that into your next intro. You know, when I
Listen,
take care of that.
we don't need to talk about this shit. That's a cruel trick God played on me. This nigga made me handsome at 48 years old. I got 6 years.
The silver fox.
Legitimately, we're all silver. Well, I mean, guys, we've come to the end of our time together. Just real quick, one thing you want to lift up other comics? Just one quick thing.
Young comics, if you want to do Chocolate Sundays, man, please continue to be funny. One place does not change your career, but keep being funny, keep making great content, show up and do the shows that work on your blind spot. Seinfeld said, amateurs work on the things they're good at, and professionals work on the things they're not good at. And we live in a time, a long time ago, you just had to be funny. Yeah. Being funny was enough. Now you got to have 3 podcasts. You got to learn how to market. You got to learn how to direct. You got to learn how to do content creation. You have to do all these things, man, but don't have any blind spots and sit back and complain. Get in the game and figure out your lane and lean in.
Sean?
I got to disagree with what he said. I mean, if anybody knew the recipe, I wouldn't be sitting in here.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'll be filming some shit somewhere.
But this is a part of it. You're here.
We are filming
recipe, my guy.
This is
you're here because you just so happened to be here for a weekend. I'm here because I didn't have shit else to do today. So, I don't know how much advice I can give you. Try not to suck.
That's the clip right there. That's the clip. But also, you're doing the thing. You're here. You're doing the podcast. You could be writing jokes, but you're here.
It can be way worse. I just be talking shit.
Boy, you so.
We love you, Sean.
That's very low level of you to say. Very low level of you to say that.
Advice from me is make sure you sign up for the What's Funny Comedy Festival, which is coming this September 14th through the 21st. Submissions are going to open up May 1st, so make sure that you tap in. Come be a part of the 2nd annual festival, the best Black and brown talent in the country. So tap in. Ron, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Great sitting down, indeed. And before we get out of here, you've had a great career. Has it been more just authentically kind of happened, or has it been strategic in terms of the moves that you've made and the ones that you continue to make?
Part of it is just showing up. When I won an Emmy, I did a show I didn't want to do, but for some reason I did it anyway, and wound up meeting the showrunner for the show for CNN I won the Emmy for, because it was a show I didn't want to do. But I did it anyway. I'm like, let me do it. And it turned, but you never know what the thing is. Nobody has the answers. I can tell you what you should do.
Yeah.
But half the battle is showing up and keep working your craft, man. Keep sharpening your sword to where if you get the opportunity, you won't make God look stupid, and you'll be prepared.
It's real. Appreciate it.
So, and I appreciate you got your ankles crossed. You making money too. This right here, when a black man crosses ankles,
Right.
Oh yeah, big bread.
I love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. With that, we appreciate you all for tapping in. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, follow. Let us know what's on your mind, how you feel about the episode, and we will see you next time. Peace.